All right, so UFC 262 this past weekend. There's a lot to unpack here. If you don't know, you should know Charles Oliveira is the new UFC lightweight champion of the world. He defeated Michael Chandler in spectacular fashion in what was a fantastic, I want to call it a fight. Obviously, it was a fight, but it only lasted around at about 15 seconds. So the first round saw dominance on the ground from Charles Oliveira and dominance on the feet from Michael Chandler. And it was towards the end of the round that Michael Chandler was kind of getting the upper hand. He dropped Charles Oliveira, made the interesting decision not to stand him back up, and he followed him to the ground. Obviously didn't finish the fight, gave Oliveira time to recover. The round then ended. Pretty much Michael Chandler's corner said more of the same, and there was no reason for there not to be more of the same because Chandler was on the up. He was winning the fight at that point. He had the upper hand. And then 18 seconds later, Charles Oliveira was the new lightweight champion of the world. He caught Michael Chandler with a left hook. Chandler then semi-recovered onto the fence. Looked like if Charles didn't take advantage of that moment that Chandler was going to recover. However, Oliveira did what Chandler could not do earlier on in the fight, took advantage and finished Michael Chandler. So, it's one of those moments, and when Michael Bisping won the middleweight championship when he knocked out Luke Rockhold, it was one of those moments where a guy who had put in the work and had such a impressive career with the UFC, but never quite got there. He finally got his moment, and it's drawn similarities to that Michael Bisping comparison, but it's not quite complete because Bisping was perhaps towards the end of his career, whereas Charles Oliveira, he's like in the middle of his career. This is him peaking. He's probably got another 2 years of being at the top before he starts perhaps fading a little bit, and maybe he's got more time than that. But that was his 9th win in a row to win that UFC championship. That was his 28th fight in the UFC. His first fight in the UFC was on the 1st of August 2010. He's been fighting since 2008. So he's had a 13-year career in MMA. And of those 13 years, he's spent 11 of them in the UFC. And for him to go through what he's been through, 28 fights in the organisation, 9 losses, and to come at the end of it, it culminates versus Michael Chandler. Everything for Charles Oliveira. And you'll remember, if we journey back a year, Charles Oliveira was the guy on a 7-fight win streak that no one wanted to give a title shot to. Or certainly the UFC didn't. They went to Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. They had Khabib and Justin Gaethje. And when you think that Conor was fighting Dustin, you kind of just assume that if Conor won, he'd fight Khabib, and then Charles Oliveira was cut out. Fast forward a year, Khabib retires. Conor McGregor loses to Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier wants the rematch. And then Charles Oliveira, UFC signed Michael Chandler. They signed Michael Chandler from Bellator, one of Bellator's biggest draws. And it all falls up perfectly. And Charles Oliveira has put in the work, put in the hours, the dedication, the blood, the sweat, the tears. He's taken his losses. And he is now the UFC lightweight champion of the world. For me, that is such an impressive story. I need more people to know about this story. And he will undoubtedly, you'd like to think, face the winner of Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor. The only kind of asterisk to that is we've got Justin Gaethje sitting there doing nothing. But Justin Gaethje's come off a loss. And when you look at the new lightweight division, if we pull that up quickly, rankings updated overnight. So we've got Charles Oliveira, of course, the champion, Dustin Poirier, number 1, Justin Gaethje, number 2, Beneil Dariush, number 3, Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor, and Tony Ferguson. In those 6 guys, ranked 1 to 6, I think 4 of them are coming off losses. That's interesting. A couple of them haven't fought in a while. So there is some work to do on that lightweight division. That division that's been a shark tank for so long. We might be at the point very, very soon that some new work needs to be done. We need some more matchups made. But for now, is Charles just Charlie Olives. I always want to say Charlie Olives because of Dan Hooker. It's Charlie Olives' day. It's Charlie Olives' party. And he is the UFC lightweight champion, and deservedly so. What a victory.